Welcome back. Congratulations to the Las Vegas Raiders for hiring a Hall of Fame coach. Of all the signings and all the stuff that's gone on in the last few weeks in the NFL, I think this is my favorite signing. And I'm not necessarily a Raiders fan, but I kind of have an affinity to the team. Let's put it to you in those regards, right? Pete Carroll, your new head coach, is going to be in the Hall of Fame. He has 170 wins in his 18-year career and 120 losses. Been to the Super Bowl twice. Well, we know that. He's also the oldest coach in the NFL now at 73. But the enthusiasm level, I mean, I'm surprised he was 73. I knew he was older than I was, but I didn't think he was 73 years old. And I'll put it to you this way. You know, Dan Campbell has a lot of enthusiasm for the Detroit Lions, and his players will go to the wall, through a wall for him, and it looks like he could actually dismantle that wall all by himself. Well, Pete Carroll's one of those coaches that loves all his players, and he'll go to the wall and protect every single one of them. And that's why his players love him. It's a similar kind of Dan Campbell thing, but Dan Campbell's more of the, and Pete Carroll's more a little bit West Coast. So I would guess Pete Carroll is a West Coast version of Dan Campbell. Now, he's patting players on the back. He's running up and down the field. He took Seattle to 2 Super Bowls. He turned Russell Wilson, a third-round pick, and made him, pretty good talent. I mean, lately Wilson has struggled a little bit. Things haven't gone his way, but I would still have him on my team, and maybe he'll wind up, he's a free agent, maybe he'll wind up with it. And I don't think that'll happen. I think they had a little falling out there in Seattle, but you never know. Fences can be mended, and money always talks, right? But Pete Carroll knows his talent, and that's important for Las Vegas and for Raider fans, because Raider Nation, you guys are nuts, and in a good way. Don't come after me. I love you guys. I watch you guys on TV, and I think, wow, man, I would love to go to a game. I would love to be in that mosh pit with you guys, all dressed in black and silver, and I mean, to me, it's a little bit scary, but I think you guys are having just so much fun, and you really deserve to have a better team than what you've had recently. And with Pete Carroll as your head coach, I think you're going to have that. He's one of the best coaches at developing quarterbacks. I mean, Russell Wilson, third-round pick, and you guys got a not-so-bad quarterback there in O'Connell. Now, he may not be a Mahomes or an Allen or a Lamar, but you never know. And Desmond Ridder was a third-round pick. Yeah. So there's not a desperation level, because you're not going to go from almost the worst to a Super Bowl champion in 1 year. That's likely not to happen. So, and there's a good quarterback class next year. So, and you do have 6 picks. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to get into that part. But I'll tell you what about Pete Carroll. I stopped watching Seattle when he got fired, because the games, it just doesn't seem the same. When Pete Carroll was running up and down the sidelines, every Sunday, I can watch 4 games at the same time, right? My go-to was the Dallas Cowboys, Los Angeles Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks would go up on there. And then I would find the fourth, whatever game appealed to me. Well, that was every year. And then this last year, I don't think I did that once. There was no appeal to the game anymore. And I blame that on the fact that Russell Wilson, yeah, I'm a fan of his, he left, and then Pete Carroll left, and to me, there was no reason to watch anymore. But now, I think on the Sundays coming up, my first choice is going to be, Las Vegas Raiders. And that is kind of a cool thing, because I'm following a coach. And for you guys who love that team so much, you're just going to love Pete Carroll as your head coach. And I think it's an enthusiasm level that's going to be there. That team just can't help but get better having him there. Now, do you need a quarterback? Yeah, you need a quarterback. But you got a guy who can turn a quarterback. And if you really want a quarterback, there's quarterbacks out there you can get. You can get Kirk Cousins, for a year or two. You can get Sam Darnold. There's guys out there that you can get to make the team instantly better than what you have. But I don't know, you just leave it. I have full faith that Pete Carroll's going to turn that team around and beat the Kansas City Chiefs for you. Wouldn't that be cool, right? You'd love them forever if that happened. But why do I like the Oakland Raiders and the Oakland, or the Las Vegas Raiders now, Los Angeles Raiders, whatever they want to call themselves? They're the Raiders. It's Raider Nation. Doesn't matter where they play. You guys are there, right? Okay. I think you've got one of the scariest players in all of the National Football League. You've got this Max Crosby guy. I think he can win games all by himself. But when he retires, I think he's going to be in your mosh pit with you guys, dressed up just like you guys. But when I was a kid, and it was the Oakland Raiders, and I always kind of tongue slip and call them the Oakland Raiders, but the guys that you had on that team were kind of my childhood heroes. Fred Biletnikoff, Darryl LaMonica at quarterback, I always loved him. Gene Upshaw, I was one of the best linemen in the history of the game. He's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he was up against my team, the Los Angeles Rams, with Merlin Olsen, Deacon Jones, Rosie Greer, and the fearsome foursome of the Rams at the time, Robin Gabriel at quarterback. The team was pretty good, but the Raiders turned into a powerhouse when some coach named, I don't know, what's his name, Madden, when Madden joined the team. John Madden, the first year he was there, I think they were 12-1, something like that. And then he went on to win a Super Bowl with Kenny Stabler in 1976. And that, to me, that was an ultimate. That was my grad year. I remember that. And there's all these guys at my high school wearing black and silver for that game. I was like, what the going on there, But you guys are, as I said, you're lucky. And I think that the Las Vegas Raiders next year are going to come close to making the playoffs. I mean, you look at PETE Carroll's record, right? 170 wins in 18 years. That's almost 10 a year. 10 wins get you to the playoffs. So I don't think you're that far off. You have the defense. Anyway, we've got some great games this weekend. We've got the semifinals, and we'll just see what happens. And if you've got some comments, please, feel free to comment on the post. I'm CJ. Please like, subscribe. You know the drill. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this. Enjoy your weekend. And once again, congratulations on PETE Carroll. You're going to love him.